TJ? Honey, it's time to get up for school. TJ!
Alright. Alright, I heard you.
Your breakfast is on the table, and don't forget your father will be working late
Mama,
tonight,
I know. Please get out and shut the door. Today being the first day of my senior year is crazy. Feels like just yesterday I was going through freshman orientation. But luckily, since I got just about all my credits, I'm only gonna have 3 classes, so today should go by pretty smooth. There's a lot riding on my success both on the field and in the classroom this year. I've received offers from several programs all across the board, but I know once I get my 5th star, that list gonna get even longer. Right now, they got me ranked as the 27th quarterback in my class, but I know whoever made that list must not watch football because it ain't no way it's 26 quarterbacks better than me. After class, I'll probably come back here to the crib to get some rest before practice. Our first game is like 8 days away, so tonight's practice should just be a walkthrough, but I still want to make sure I'm locked in. I don't know about y'all, but I hate having my most important class first thing in the morning. It seems to happen like this every year, but I really got to lock in this time because I'm terrible at math, but I need this Algebra 1 credit if I'm going to play ball next year. Look, I know y'all ain't trying to sit through no math class with me, so I'm just going to fill you in on my childhood until I get finished. Man, my childhood was lovely. Growing up as an only kid certainly has its disadvantages, but it also comes with its perks as well. Anything I ever wanted, I got, and then some. See, my mom is everything I could ever ask for. Loving, caring, understanding. I mean, she's quite literally just perfect. Even though she be getting on my nerves sometimes, there's nothing I'd ever change about that woman. Now my pops, see, that's really my best friend. As a kid, I didn't look up to Superman or Batman. No, my dad was my superhero. He taught me everything I know about being a man, and he showed me that it's okay to have self-confidence and believe in yourself. See, my dad really built his real estate empire from nothing. When my grandparents died, they left him their house. Well, he was able to leverage that property to buy another house, and then another house, and then another house. Then eventually he made the transition to purchasing commercial properties, and well, the rest is history. Look, I'll be the first to admit that I grew up spoiled, and honestly, I'm not ashamed of it. My parents worked extremely hard to make sure I never wanted for anything. I mean, they've had me laced in designer since I came out the womb. But look, don't get it twisted. Just because I grew up privileged doesn't mean I don't have a crazy work ethic. Yeah, my pops has had me training like a pro my whole life. Football camps, personal trainers, nutritionists, track coaches, you name it, I've had it. I've been putting in all the work that's needed to be successful, so that's why I can confidently say that there's no way I don't make it to the league. Man, bro, algebra is so dumb. I mean, honestly, when am I ever going to use any of that information in the real world? It's only the first day of school and I already got a headache. On top of that, my next class is biology, and then I got to go sit through US History 1. Man, I'll tap back in with y'all before practice tonight. IMG Academy. This is where my high school football journey really began. Now, if you're not familiar with IMG, allow me to give you a little bit of a background. It's one of the most prestigious sports, performance, and educational institutions in the whole world, and they produce several professional athletes. I went here my freshman and sophomore year of high school. Now, this is a boarding school, so that means you actually stay on campus just like you would at a college. Bro, I still remember the day my mom and pops dropped me off. I was so excited, I thought it was finna be like the movies. You know, with the girls and the parties, but bro, it was the complete opposite. All we did was go to school and train. I mean, like, we literally didn't have any time to do anything else. But I can honestly say that I became a much better player while I was there. Everything was state of the art. They even brought in sports scientists to create individual training programs for each athlete. I mean, everything was going great off the field, but on the field is where we had issues. I never got to play, which is the complete opposite of what the coaches told me would happen when I agreed to come here. Yeah, they promised I'd have a chance to compete for the starting spot, but I honestly don't feel like I was ever given that opportunity. I became a certified backup. The only time I saw the field was at practice, which was crazy because the starting quarterback definitely wasn't better than me my freshman or sophomore year. After just 2 seasons spent at IMG Academy, I was gone. My next stop would be at some trash school that I'm not even gonna bother mentioning. I only appeared in 5 games for them bums because the coach and I kept butting heads. I did my thing and we ended up winning 4 out of the 5 games that I played in, but the coach there was hating on me. Yeah, he didn't want to see me be great. He kept trying to humble me and tell me that I wasn't bigger than the team, but what he didn't understand was without me, they wasn't gonna win. I had to tell him like, bro, we gonna do things my way or I'm just not gonna play. And well, yeah, I ended up getting kicked off the team, but it is what it is. I spent the remainder of last year and all of last summer playing in several flag football tournaments all across the state of Florida. I put on an absolute clinic in those tournaments, and I honestly believe I showed that I'm the most skillful quarterback in this year's class. I know there's still a little bit of doubt surrounding my name, and that's okay, because I plan on using this year to make it abundantly clear that I'm the best quarterback in the nation. After training like crazy for the past few months, the spring game is finally here. The fight for QB1 has been close all camp, but that's only because I'm a freshman. Yeah, y'all know how it gets when politics are involved, but my play today is going to set me apart from everybody else. But look, I'm headed over to the cafe right now to grab a quick snack before the game. While I do that, let me bring y'all up to date with everything that's happened since last episode. After suffering an early exit from the state playoffs last episode, I had to switch my focus and get my mindset for the next chapter of my football career. See, at that time I was still uncommitted and I hadn't taken a single college visit, but that's because my mind was already set on where I was going. I took the rest of my senior year off from football and really just focused on being a kid. You know, partying, hooping, fishing, really just enjoying life, because I knew as soon as it was time to leave for college, playtime would be over and the hard work would really start. Oregon University. Yeah, I've known I was going to be an Oregon Duck since I was a kid. My pops actually got his master's degree from Oregon and my grandfather did as well. So I guess you can say it's always been a part of the family. National Signing Day came and I made my official announcement and let the world know I was headed to play for the Ducks. Moving out of the crib was tough. Not for me, but for my parents. Yeah, they were sad to see their baby boy go, but I wasn't sad at all. Yeah, it was finally time for me to go take over college football. My parents drove my M8 and the U-Haul from Florida to Oregon. Meanwhile, I took a first class flight there, that way I wouldn't be cranky or sore from the long drive. The first thing I did when I got on campus was request a meeting with Coach Lanning and the OC. Yeah, I had to let them know that I was ready to lead this offense and put the team in position to win the championship this year. Man, Coach, I'm so happy to be here right now and I'm excited to get to work. I just wanted to touch base with you and maybe go over a few different schemes that I think you should consider adding to the offense. I think if we make a few minor changes that'll better fit my play style, we'll have a better chance of getting to the playoffs and potentially winning a title. Alright, so yeah, maybe I went by the coach's office a little too soon. I mean, I hadn't thrown a single pass against a Division I defense or taken a single snap from under center as a college athlete, yet I was already in the front office requesting changes. Yeah, I can admit I was tripping, but all that did was put an even bigger chip on my shoulder. For the first month or so, all we did was strength and conditioning training. Then it was finally time to put on the pads so I could show them what I could do. The first week or so, I'll admit I made quite a few mental errors, but that was expected. It took me a little bit of time to build some chemistry with the wideouts and learn the playbook. So a lot of my passes were either underthrown or thrown right into coverage. Once I got comfortable though, things began to change and I started making plays. It seems like everything began to slow down for me and I was really having my way. The main difference I noticed between high school football and college football is the speed. I mean, everything is like 5 times faster. With Bo Nix leaving for the NFL draft, that left a huge opening at the quarterback position. Well, that opening attracted 2 huge transfers. Former UCF and OU quarterback Dylan Gabriel and also former UCLA quarterback Dante Moore. Now, initially at the beginning of camp, judging by the number of reps each of us got, it looked like Dylan would be QB1, Dante would be QB2, and then yours truly was at QB3. But now, I'm pretty sure I moved into that QB2 slot. So we have about an hour left until kickoff. Now, I believe Dylan and Dante will be splitting reps in the first half, then I should have the second half to myself, but I could be wrong. Regardless though, no matter how much time I'm out there, I already know I'm gonna make plays. I just need everybody else around me to do their job. There's a lot riding on my performance in this spring game, as this may very well be the last chance I have to show just how much better I am than every other quarterback on the roster. Going into the spring game, I promised myself to have total confidence in my team. I know normally I can tend to not want to take risks because of uncertainty that they'll be able to catch the ball and complete the play, but I changed my mindset for this game, and early on that newfound confidence in my team proved to be very beneficial as I was able to connect on a 40-yard bomb over the top of the defense for my first touchdown. But look, let me be honest, Dylan and Dante played a decent game, but to me they both seemed timid and scared to let the ball fly. Meanwhile, I came out guns blazing. I not only scored on the team's opening drive, but I was able to find the end zone on the second one as well. Our third third drive started off with a big run up the middle. I used my speed and vision to ram the ball up the backside of the defense, and I picked up about 30 yards. I was feeling extremely confident, and I know for a fact the coaches and the fans had to be impressed with my performance because, come on now, I was picking them boys apart. I remember thinking like nothing could go wrong at that point, and I had actually fully embraced having confidence in my team. Well, that was until the O-line didn't hold their blocks, which forced me to throw an ill-advised pass in triple coverage. I was pissed, and I felt stupid for even depending on them to do their job. I knew better than that, and I also knew I had to make up for that interception, so I started to call my own number. I was able to get us down right outside the red zone and ended up throwing another interception because another one of my teammates couldn't make the play. 2 interceptions in 1 quarter is crazy. By the time the 4th quarter started, I had lost all confidence in my teammates. See, I didn't want to risk throwing a 3rd pick, so I did everything I could to keep the ball on the ground. As a quarterback, when things go right, you get all the credit, but on the flip side, when things go wrong, you get that same credit as well. Even if it wasn't your fault, it's still your fault. We had about 2.5 minutes left in the game, and I honestly felt like at that point, I had blown my chance to secure the starting spot. Even though the other 2 quarterbacks on the team didn't play as exciting as I did, they didn't turn over the ball, and honestly, we all know that's what really matters. In my final drive of the spring game, I played pretty well and was able to move the ball up the field to score a touchdown. Now, this was technically my first college game, so I truly feel like I did my thing. I showed confidence and composure in the pocket, and I also showed that I'm a weapon on the ground as well. Now, if I had to grade my performance alone, I'd definitely say I put on an A+ performance. So as y'all can see, I'm back here in Florida at my parents' crib. Yeah, they gave us a week and a half off for spring break, so I caught a flight back home, but honestly, I'm not sure if I'm even going back. Shortly after the spring game, I sat down with Coach Lanning and I asked him to keep it real with me. Yeah, I asked him straight up, like, who's going to be the starting quarterback for the season? And he told me, Dylan is his guy, and then behind him is Dante. Now, y'all should know damn well I'm not about to be no 3rd string quarterback, especially not for them 2 bum-ass dudes, so I just been thinking, weighing out all my options. Alright, so look, obviously I can go to pretty much any school in the nation I want to. Now, some schools I'll be coming in as a starter, meanwhile there's other schools that'll probably have me compete and work my way up to QB number 1. Now, of course, I could just stay put at Oregon, but with QB 1 and 2 already being set, that means it's almost certain that I won't be playing this year. But if I do go ahead and jump into the portal and go to another school, that would give me a fresh start. So even if I came in at QB 2, there's still an opportunity for me to play. Now, I've been weighing out my options with my parents, and of course they like to see me stay put in Oregon, but they'd also like to see me play, so they totally support me transferring. Now, if I'm being honest, I haven't told nobody this, but I've been thinking about coming back and playing at home. Maybe I go to Florida or Florida State, and then of course Miami's always an option as well. So look, since we're family, I'd love to hear what y'all think. Should I redshirt and sit a year at Oregon and hope that maybe next year I'll be starting, or should I test out my luck in the transfer portal? I'm here outside of Coach Norvell's office for an emergency meeting. We had a game last night versus Clemson, and everything went well. I got in late because DJ went down with the injury, but I didn't turn the ball over or anything like that, so I'm honestly not sure what this could be about.
So, as you know, DJ went down with an injury in last night's game.
Yeah.
Well, we just got word back that it's more serious than we thought, and he'll likely be out for several weeks. So that makes you the next man up. Now, I don't want you to let this go to your head, okay? Just keep doing what you've been doing, and everything will be fine. But remember, the standard is the standard. And if at any moment myself or your coaches feel you're not playing up to the standard, we'll have to pull the plug, okay?
Okay, I got you, Coach. Man, y'all should already know I'm excited as hell. It's finally time for me to shine. I said I'm the best quarterback in college football all along. Now I finally get a chance to prove it. Yeah, it is sad that DJ got hurt, but if him getting hurt is what had to happen for me to get my shot, then so be it.
Wow, honey, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Oh, is DJ gonna be okay?
Mama, I don't care about DJ. As a matter of fact, where's Dad at? Can you please put him on the phone?
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna pass the phone to your father.
It's so crazy how quick your life can change. Just a few weeks ago, I was a 3rd string quarterback at Oregon with no real chance of playing this year. As a matter of fact, man, Coach Lanning said I should probably redshirt. Look at me now. I'm here at Florida State about to start my first game. Man, I know y'all probably got a lot of questions on how this even happened. So let me take a second and bring everybody up to date. I spent the majority of spring break in my parents' crib, really just weighing out all my options. First, I had to decide if I was going to enter the transfer portal or just redshirt this year and stay at Oregon. Well, that decision was pretty easy to make. It wasn't no way I was redshirting, so I went ahead and jumped in the portal. I just knew as soon as word spread that I was in the portal, my phone would be ringing non-stop. But for some reason, the first few days nobody called. But then a few calls started to trickle in, but it was mainly from smaller schools I wasn't interested in, like UAB and LA Tech. I spent the next few days just relaxing and enjoying my spring break. But then I started to get a little bit concerned after the first week because nobody was reaching out. But that's when it hit me. They probably just didn't have my number. So I started reaching out to coaches at Power 5 schools all across the country. You know, Texas, LSU, Alabama, Michigan, the big schools. I knew each of those schools would be blessed to have me on their roster, but they didn't seem too interested. But I also knew that's only because they already had their quarterback position filled. I made call after call to these universities, but I had no success. I'll be honest, I felt lost and somewhat embarrassed. I was officially stranded in the portal. Well, that's when I reached out to my pops for some advice on what I should do next.
Look, son, now I know you feel like you're the best player in the nation, and I don't doubt that one bit at all. But the problem is no one else outside this house believes you. I was reading the comments on your latest YouTube video, and I seen that you had a lot of doubters. And, and the only way to turn them doubters into believers is to show them. But that may mean starting from the bottom and working your way up. So, with that being said, I think you should consider joining the roster as a second option. And when given a chance to compete for that starting spot, you take what's yours. So, I think you should reach out to Florida State. The quarterback is leaving for the pros, so not only is that a wide open spot for you, but you'll also be right at home.
My pops was right. I really am the greatest football player to ever live, but no one else knows that, and it's my job to show them. I took the next few days to get some rest because I knew as soon as spring break was over, my mission to be recognized as the GOAT would start. I was still in pretty good shape from spring training at Oregon, but over the break, I didn't train at all and I had started to develop a gut. So I decided to jumpstart things a bit before reporting to FSU with 2-a-day training. Yeah, so every day I wake up and do morning runs and then evening weight training, just to get my wind back. When I first got to FSU, there wasn't a huge media buzz surrounding my name. When the other guys would get interviewed, it would be 20 or 30 reporters gathered around. But for me, it was only like 1 or 2. I knew I needed to change that, so when a reporter asked how camp was going, I decided to shake things up a little bit. Camp is going pretty good. Well, for me at least. Now, I can't say the same about the other quarterbacks on the team, but that's for them to figure out. Just know when the season opener comes, I'll be more than ready. As expected, Coach Norvell was pissed, but I didn't care. That one media soundbite got all of college football talking about me, which is exactly what I had planned to happen. This was officially my team now. Everyone else just didn't know. As camp began to wrap up, I was still taking second team snaps, but I was totally fine with that. I took my dad's advice and changed my mindset and my perspective. I knew eventually I'd get my shot at QB1, and when I do, I'd never give it back. To kick off the season, Coach had DJ Uigui starting, and again, I was totally fine with that. See, I knew eventually I would get my chance to put my hands under the center's balls, so I just told myself to stay patient. Now, don't get it twisted, I'm still that guy. Yeah, I don't want y'all thinking I got humbled or anything like that. Now, I just realized that sometimes in order to get in, you gotta fit in. So for the first 4 games of the season, I was on placeholder duty. And to be honest, the job is pretty difficult. It's a lot of technique that goes into it. From the outside looking in, it looks super easy, but honestly, it's really not. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, I would finally get my chance in the backfield at quarterback our last game versus Clemson. DJ went down with his injury, so my number was called to go out and close the game. Ironically, this was our first big test of the season, so it couldn't have happened at a better time. We had a small 3-point lead with just over 4 minutes left when I took the field. So of course, coach wanted me to go out and just protect the ball and manage the clock, but I had other plans. Yeah, I wanted to attack the defense and try to put more points on the board. And I did just that. I went on to throw my first official collegiate touchdown to close out the game versus one of our biggest rivals on the road. See, bro, I had a bad feeling about even coming here. Now something like this happens, man, the past few weeks of my life have felt like a never-ending nightmare. Just one thing after another. Not only am I stranded on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, I just talked to AAA and they said it's gonna take them 3 hours to get here. Look, I don't know what lesson life could be trying to teach me right now, but whatever it is, man, I've had enough. I guess since I got so much spare time on my hands, I might as well go ahead and make myself comfortable. After a crazy season at FSU, I needed an escape, so I decided to use some of my NIL money and take a nice vacation to the Bahamas. I also paid for my parents to come as well, as kind of a thank you for everything they've done for me over the past few years. I promised myself while I was on vacation not to get on social media and not to think about football. Well, I did pretty good for the first few hours, but I eventually gave in and started scrolling on Twitter. Yeah, I wanted to see what posts people were making about me throughout the season, but I wasn't on there too long because it wasn't too interesting. Anyways, that night, I laid in my bed thinking about what my next move should be. I mean, as I said before, FSU was good to me, and Coach Norvell and I seem to be building a pretty good relationship. As a matter of fact, at the end of the season, he called me into his office for a quick meeting. He just wanted to see where my head was at.
TJ, thanks for stopping by. I just wanted to touch base with you and see where your head was at now that the season is over.
Man, Coach, I'll be honest, I love it here, and I think this is a tremendous program. I feel like things really started to come together towards the end of the season, but as far as next season, I honestly don't know. I'm just hoping that you're able to bring in some more weapons for me to use offensively. That's really been my main concern.
Okay, great. So it sounds like we're on the same page. Myself and your coaches plan to hit the transfer portal really hard this offseason and bring in more talent on that side of the ball. Look, TJ, I just want you to know you're my guy for next season, okay? You have my word.
After meeting with Coach and him giving me his word, I knew my next stop had to be to talk to my receivers. As I said last episode, there was a lot of tension between them and myself, so I just wanted to smooth things over. They addressed a few of their concerns, and I addressed a few of mine. When it was all said and done, I think we came to a pretty good understanding. Now, unfortunately, I can't say the same for me and DJ. I mean, I tried to talk to him and just basically tell him, this is my team now, and he needed to embrace being my backup. But as you're about to see, he wasn't going for it.
Dog, are you stupid? You threw more interceptions this year than you did touchdowns, bum ass nigga. The only reason you even got to play is because I got injured. Otherwise, you'll be on the sideline holding coach's nuts. Man, miss me with that shit.
Man, bro, they trying to tell me my head gasket blew and it's going to be $175 for the repair and installation. Not only that, but I already had to pay $150 just for them to tow it here to the shop. Plus, once it gets repaired, I still got to drive another 2 hours to get to campus. Man, bro, today has already been a long day, and sadly, it's just getting started. I knew DJ wouldn't take the news very well, and I expected his reaction, but it didn't matter because Coach had already given me his word that I was his guy. After I got back from that vacation I just mentioned, I got straight to work. Over the entire offseason, I worked on increasing my speed and agility and also my arm strength. Those improvements showed early on throughout camp, and I was clearly the favorite for QB1 going into the first game of the season. There was a lot of tension in the quarterback room. I mean, I had already secured my starting spot, so I was chilling, but I oftentimes would catch DJ mugging me and making these weird faces. I don't know if he was trying to intimidate me or what, but as you can see, man, I wasn't worried about nothing. My pops always told me when you great, you gonna have haters. I mean, I tried to make peace with Buddy, but he wasn't going for it, so I just felt like, hey, if it's smoke, then so be it. After a long 16-hour drive here from Florida State, I finally made it and got my room unpacked for the most part. But look, last episode I showed you how my time at FSU went, but I didn't show you how it ended. So now that I finally made it to my new home, I think now's a good time to go ahead and close out that chapter. Last season at Florida State, I had the team sitting very nice with a 5-2 record before my injury. I mean, honestly, things were going great up until that point. The team doctors demanded I go get some CT scans done because I was having severe migraines from the concussion. Well, the doctors at the hospital ordered for me to be sidelined for at least the next 4 weeks. That meant my backup DJ would finally get another chance at being a starter. I can't lie, Dog took full advantage of the opportunity and he played great while I was out. But I was under the impression that once I was cleared to play again, the job would be mine. Well, as you're about to see, unfortunately that wasn't the case.
Look, Trez, coaches and I are happy to have you back and ready to go. We're definitely going to need you down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, Coach, I'm happy to be back. I'm assuming we just going to pick things up right where we left off, right?
Well, not quite. Look, man, I'll be honest. We like the way the offense has been flowing with DJ under center, and for right now, we're going to keep things as is. But as you know, things can change in an instant. So I need you to stay ready, okay? Also, we're going to need you to help with DJ a few moments after practice each day, just to make sure he knows what to expect going forward. But hey, listen, man, we're happy you're back.
And just like that, the job that was once mine was now officially gone. I was pissed. I mean, before I went down with that injury, I was having a tremendous season. So for them to do me like that was crazy. But I wasn't going down quietly. Yeah, the whole world was finna find out about this. I went home that same night and jumped straight on Instagram Live. Now, I'm sure a lot of y'all was on the live with me, so you already know what I said. But for those of you that wasn't, bro, I went crazy. I mean, I was saying some real diabolical things. Hell, I think I even pulled the race card if I'm being honest. But look, the next day, wait, no, I'm tripping. It was that same night. Yeah, that same night, coach called me to his office immediately. Of course, he was pissed off, but honestly, I didn't even care because I was pissed off too. They took my starting job from me due to an injury. And the policy around here has always been, you don't lose your job due to an injury. So since they wanted to go against the policy, so was I. The same way I took shots at DJ before taking his starting spot is the same way he took shots at me after taking mine. As soon as the news broke that he was now QB1, this dude ran straight to the media talking greasy. Well, the tension between us had reached a boiling point, and before practice one day, we ended up throwing hands. Man, I was beating the sleeves off of Buddy, and that's when a few teammates stepped in to break it up. Next thing I knew, we were both in coach's office waiting to receive our punishment for fighting. This dude DJ got off with basically a warning. This nigga actually cried, bruh. He was in there crying. But for me, it was a little bit different, man. I was officially dismissed from the Florida State program for conduct detrimental to the team. So as you just seen, I was dismissed from the program at FSU with about 4 games left to play in the season. Now, did I feel like I should have been kicked off the team? In the moment, absolutely not. But I had several weeks to reflect on not only everything that happened at Florida State, but my entire football career as a whole. The weeks following the incident that happened, I pretty much went into isolation. Now, I wouldn't say I was depressed, but more so in shock. My dismissal from FSU would mean I'd have to start over somewhere else, which ultimately meant 3 different schools in 3 different years. Not only that, but word had got out about me kicking DJ's ass, and the constant arguments I had with my coaches at Oregon and Florida State. Oh, plus my publicity stunt I pulled on Instagram Live and in the media. Listen, I had officially earned the reputation for being a problem in the locker room. I'll admit, I was feeling lost, so I reached out to my pops for a bit of guidance and advice, but all he did was pretty much tell me what I wanted to hear. But that's not what I needed. Nah, what I needed was the truth, and surprisingly, my mom was the one who gave it to me.
Listen, Trez, I'll be honest with you. You've got to stop running from the work. I mean, you transferred out of IMG Academy because you lost your starting spot. You left Oregon because you didn't want to put the work in to become a starter. And now here we are back at square one. Son, you are extremely talented and you always have been, but if you run away every time it gets tough, you'll never be successful.
As hard as it was to accept, my mom was absolutely right. I needed to humble myself. I mean, I had really been walking around like I was some 2-time NFL MVP, but I hadn't even accomplished anything in college yet. The first step on my road to redemption was finding a new program. Now, I had a lot of things to take into consideration before making my decision. You know, stuff like their record last season, their coaching staff, and their current roster. Well, once I found a few suitable candidates, I started making calls. Man, look, when I say nobody was interested, I mean nobody. Honestly, the whole experience was quite embarrassing. I had never been rejected that many times in my life. But I didn't panic. I just simply reached out to smaller schools. You know, just schools that weren't as big, like UAB. Hey, Coach Dilfer, how's it going, man? This is Trez Johnson. Remember you came to a few of my high school games. Look, Coach, I'm sure you've heard that I'm no longer at Florida State, and I'm currently looking for a new place to call home. Well, you were the first coach that came to mind, so I figured I'd call you to try to set up a visit for this summer. Call after call, rejection after rejection. I'll be honest, I began to feel defeated, and I even started to consider Division II schools or taking a JUCO route. But luckily, that's when I found my new home, the University of Iowa. Look, I'm fully aware that this could be my final chance playing at this level, so I can't afford to blow this opportunity. I also know that a lot of y'all in the comment section have already been writing me off, but that's okay because I'm not writing back. All eyes are on me right now, and I'm ready to show the world what I'm made of. There's no more room for excuses or second chances. Nah, it's either now or never. Man, it's crazy to think that after all the time I spent putting in work on the field, today could really be my last time picking up a football. Since a kid, my only dream was to make it to the NFL, and depending on how today goes, that dream could actually come true. There's about 12 scouts from different NFL teams here at my pro day to watch me perform. Personally, I feel like I should have been invited to the combine, but things just didn't work out in my favor. It's all good though, I'm still gonna do my thing. I'm feeling confident and I know the only thing I have to do is be myself and everything else will be just fine. I got a few receivers to come out and catch some balls for me, and I think we may even do a bit of 7-on-7 with the DBs. But look, I'm about to go ahead and get warmed up. While I do that, let me show y'all what all went into making the decision for me to come back and play my senior year. Instead of going back home to Florida at the end of last season, I decided to stay on campus and enroll in my last few classes I needed to graduate. Now I wasn't sure if I'd be back for my senior year, but I knew for damn sure I was leaving with my degree. But look, I helped lead our team to a fantastic 10-2 season my junior year. We just barely missed the playoffs. Instead, we be in Arlington taking on the Tennessee Volunteers in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Although it wasn't the most prominent bowl game, the fans still came out and packed the arena and both teams played their heart out. We go on to lose to the Volunteers, but I still put on a hell of a performance, throwing damn near 300 yards. After the Cheez-Its Bowl was over, I came back here to campus at Iowa and really just hid out of my dorm for like a week straight. Everybody was hitting me up wanting to know what my next move was going to be, but the problem was I didn't even know. Of course, I got online and read all types of articles from draft analysts and so-called experts, but honestly, that only complicated things even more. Some were saying I'd go undrafted and others were saying the 5th or 6th round. I needed some type of clarity and honestly some guidance, so I hollered at one of the staff members here on campus that I have a lot of respect for. It was good to hear things from a different perspective. He basically told me straight up that I had a reputation for being a problem in the locker room and also being a bad teammate. He told me another successful year in college could easily change that narrative, no problem. I sat there and listened to everything he had to say, and even though it was quite hard to hear, I knew he was absolutely right. Besides, I knew I'd make more money this year with my NIL deals than I would being a 6th or 7th round draft pick. I went home that same evening and thought about it a bit. Once I made my final decision, I jumped on Twitter and let the world know that I'd be returning to Iowa for my senior season. The biggest knock that the draft analysts seemed to have about my game was my passing mechanics and my decision making, so I worked all offseason to sharpen up my throwing form. I swear I must have threw over 10,000 passes. Also, I basically lived in the film room. If I wasn't in my dorm, I was in there studying different defensive concepts. I really put in work all summer, so going into my senior year, I was more than ready to perform. Alright, so look, we're here at the most important part of my pro day, and that is the passing portion. I've already done all my other drills. Now, I didn't do the 40-yard dash just because I didn't think it was really necessary, but everything else is done. Now we're here at the money maker for the QB position. Now we're gonna do a little bit of 7-on-7. Let me read these instructions. Welcome to your pro day. Instructions: without leaving the pocket, complete as many passes as possible. Touchdowns will raise your draft profile. That's pretty simple, right? Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright bro, so it looks like that we get 7 plays to try to score 7 touchdowns. I'm gonna do my best to dot these boys up. Now these are my teammates, they out here helping me out, but they definitely not taking it easy on me. Okay, get up. Okay, let's go, baby. That's what I need, baby. 2 for 2, man. Make these plays, let's go. Okay, so it actually looks like the ball is moving back further, so I guess it's from different positions on the field. Dot my boy up. Hey man, I'm dropping dimes, man. There we go. Okay, we going the opposite direction. Let me see what we got. There he is. Catch that for me. Yes, Sirski. That's exactly what we needed. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna just hit the check down right here. Let me see. Good route. Let's go, baby. All right, we got one more, man. We gotta go 6 for 7 at least. 6 for 7. Can we do it? Yes, Sirski, man. Count me in, baby. I think we had an excellent pro day, man. So now that all the hard work is done, I can finally relax. My pro day went pretty well. I mean, I could have did a little bit better on the interview portion, but I can't lie, I was a little bit nervous. Anyways, I'm headed back home to my parents' crib in Florida. After all the late nights and early mornings, the 6 a.m. training sessions, the late night film sessions, the bumps and the bruises and the wins and the losses, the NFL draft came, and for whatever the reason may have been, my name wasn't called. My agent said he talked to a few teams that may be interested in bringing me in as an undrafted free agent, or he said maybe we can even explore a few UFL options, but I don't know. For right now, man, I'm cool on everything. My goal since picking up a football was to get drafted. Now that didn't happen, I'm not even sure if I want to do this anymore. Of course, I could just be being dramatic since the whole situation is fresh, but who knows? I've been playing this game since I was a kid. Maybe it's time to hang up my cleats and go find a job or something.